What should you do after selling your $1 million HDB flat? Let's go! So recently I received this DM. Hi Marcus, we are 40 years old and have a combined income of 25k with 800k after selling our current property. What do you advise our next step should be? First of all, congratulations. You are in quite a favorable position. Before I deep dive into the details of what I think you should do, there are a couple of options which can be quite interesting, which will fulfill different level of risk appetite. But before we go there, maybe let's just give the rest of the viewers a bit of context, right? With this, I try to make an assumption what kind of profile you are. You are 40 years old, about the same age as me. Combined income 25k is pretty decent. I think you are in the middle or higher management. If not, then maybe you are in sales. I'm not very sure. If you're watching this, let me know in the comments. And 800k after selling our property, I would assume that it's an HDB flat which you bought as a BTO about 10 years ago. Why? Because back then, if you bought a Telok Blangah HDB flat back in 2013-ish BTO, it should be about 500 over K. Today, it should be worth about $1.1 million. So if you took a 500,000 loan back then, today you will still have a balance outstanding loan of about 250k. So if let's say you sell at $1.1 million, which is the current market value for a 4-room flat, I think should be your total returns will be about 800,000. So what to do next really depends on your risk appetite. I can break down into 3 different kind of routes you can go. Number 1 is the more aggressive route, meaning to say that you can go for a new launch, wait 3 years for it to complete, move in, sit on your profit margin, and then stay there until you need to move next. And how much can you purchase? We have actually calculated for you based on your maximum loan that you can qualify for is about $2.2 million. Your total outlay to purchase that $3 million property is actually about 800,000. So that fits just nicely into your category, which for a 4-bedroom condo new launch property, you are able to find something that is about $3 million today in today's market. I'll drop some links in the description below so you can go and check them out if you want to. Now, how do we derive at 2.2 million maximum permissible loan is based on assumption that you own a car and your monthly installment is $2,100 for that. And because you already sold your property, we are assuming that you don't have any other outstanding property loans, and that derives at $2.2 million. Now, before I go into the second option, for those who are new into our channel, TDSR basically means total debt servicing ratio, which is a government policy that limits your monthly loan repayments to up to 55% of your monthly combined income, which includes your car loan, your educational loan, your renovation loan, your credit card outstanding loans. So all this will add up to ensure that you do not over borrow. This is a way the government helps to prevent people from over leveraging and prevent the market from crashing, right? Because this was implemented in the year 2013 for those that didn't know, and it kind of stabilized the market over the years. So why people like to buy property is mainly because of this, because in property, right, you cannot over leverage. Government basically wants us to buy for own consumption mainly, and if you want to buy your second property, right, you are not able to loan as much as well. So all this information, I'll link them in the description. Go check them out if you want to. And if you are curious how come using your own calculator you get a different figure, is based on the fact that currently the banks are using a floor interest rate of 4.7% to calculate your TDSR. So if you're interested to do the calculations, I'll link the calculator in the description below so that you can find out more. So that's option number 1 for you. Definitely it comes with its pros and cons, so stay to the end, which I will share my views on that. Option number 2, the typical sell 1 buy 2 scenario, which many people will ask me, in this market, are you still able to do so? The answer is absolutely yes. Why? Because there are some pretty nice options out there, like for example, those ECs that have just met its MOP not long. Most of the units are still in immaculate conditions. That means you do not really have to spend much on renovation, plus you can have an immediate home. Most importantly, the pricing is actually at its sweet spot, about 1,000, 4,005-ish per square foot. A decent 1,400 over square foot 3-bedroom unit will cost you less than $2 million. Monthly installment at age 40 years old should be $6,472 for your monthly repayment, and assuming you actually both earn $12,500 after using 1,000 plus from your OA, right, you just to top up about $5,000 for this asset. I think this is something that if you use one person's name to purchase, you can still pay it off reasonably comfortably comfortably. Then next, your investment property, which is the more interesting one. This one, the first property will most likely be your forever home if possible. Just want to keep your monthly repayments low. Second property is a property that you either use it as a investment slash rental property, which you actually use OPM, other people's money, to pay for your monthly mortgage. And I'm quite confident that you are able to service this property fully with your OA plus the rental property. So in essence, right, in a nutshell, the second property, you just pay for the initial outlay. The balance 75% will be paid by the tenant plus your CPF OA, which at the end of the loan tenure of 25 years, right, you actually have these two properties fully paid, even if it doesn't appreciate, even if it doesn't grow according to the inflation, right, you still have a $3 million worth of asset fully paid, but you are technically only paying for $1.8 million plus your initial outlay of 25% for the $1.1 million property. Not bad, right? So that's option number 2 for you. There are multiple ways to approach that, so do consult a professional like a conveyancing lawyer, a mortgage banker, or even a property agent who has experience in dealing with such things. Now, before I move on to option number 3, if you have not tapped the like button yet, please help me to do so, because it takes us a lot of time to produce such content and it's absolutely free. And consider subscribing to the channel because we post weekly contents like this. Thank you. Now, speaking of option number 3 is to buy a 4-bedroom condo near town. Why is this option number 3? Because based on the scenario I gave earlier on, the assumption that what you're selling is a HDB 4-room flat in Telok Blangah area, which will give you about 800,000 cash proceed. You may be someone that is used to staying in town. Maybe you lived in town since you are young. So when you BTO, you also BTO a town area. So if ask you to move to areas that will get you a 4-bedroom new launch condo at $3 million or a $1.8 million 4-bedroom condo, is almost like asking you to move to JB already lah. So over your dead body, you won't do that. So your options will be a little bit more limited, but still pretty abundant. There are a few options you can do. $3 million can get you quite a bit of options for a 4-bedroom condo. So first up, we want to talk about Commonwealth Towers, 4-bedroom, 2.8 million, 1,302 square feet, which is about 2,100 plus PSF. There's one option near MRT, near town. Next, if you don't mind, slightly further away from town, you have Clement Canopy, which is between Dover MRT and Clementi MRT station. $2.68 million negotiable at slightly under 2,000 PSF for a 4-bedroom condo, unblocked panoramic views. There is one option as well, 2.68 million. But these two, maybe I will think that based on my recommendation of a 20% buffer when you are going all in into one property, I will think that these two may be a little bit on the higher end. If you are more on the safer side, right, if you have less appetite for risk, you can also consider Queen's condo, which is older, about 20 odd years into the lease tenure already. So, but the PSF is 1,702, and it is also right beside Queenstown MRT station. Is it Queenstown MRT station or Commonwealth? Commonwealth or Queenstown? Queenstown MRT station. But the condominium beside is called Commonwealth Towers. But actually that one is Queenstown MRT station, so I was confused for a bit. If you really think you're okay with that, the condos over there are quite nice also. Disclaimer, whatever I recommended, those listings, right, I have not studied whether this unit actually, the price is correct. Sometimes the quantum is correct, but the PSF may be wrong, because most sellers on the lower floor will still price their property at a high floor pricing, right? That is just human mentality. So speak to the professionals. There's a proper way of calculating whether you are overpaying, not just based on that condo itself, not just based on the total market itself, and also based on the stack itself as well. Because sometimes within the condo, different stacks will command different pricing as well. So don't just use a rule of thumb method, or quantum correct means correct already. That is not the way you deal with things. And one more advice I would say, that if you go all in into your one investment, I would think that maybe you can sell off your car, since you want to be near town and beside MRT station. Consider selling your car. Monthly you save at least $1,000 to $2,000. You can use that for your mortgage, because we calculated the mortgage should be under 8K. If you sell 2,000, that's about 25% of your monthly mortgage you need to pay. You can just pick MRT, because MRT station is just beside only. So here are the 3 options that I will personally recommend based on a more conservative mindset, and based on the fact that 40 years old, you still got a lot more room to grow your capital and your wealth. So I think you should still put most of your money into property as an investment, because it's still one of the safest way to invest, and really don't need too much brain over the 3 years, because you cannot sell anyway. Because this video is getting too long, we have to close right now. So let me know in the comment section what do you think and which option would you think will be suitable for you? Or if you have any questions, feel free to let us know as well. We'll be happy to do another content for that. So thanks for staying till the end. If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please do so now and tap the like button if you like watching contents like these, because that will only encourage us to do more content like that. Thanks for watching. I see you at the next video. Bye. 我们剩45分钟 to 我们的 sushi. I need sushi, man.